All right, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Check on into the stream. Welcome to a special afternoon edition of the coverage of the war in Ukraine. I'm your host, Andy Mercado. We're on day 72 covering the war. Late last night, I was burned out. I was out covering protests again, marching. I was up early, so I just was burned out last night. So this is the coverage that would have been late last night, but I'm also going to include any new happenings that are going on today. And if this is a good time frame for the coverage, then I might start including this during the week more often. If you're watching this video after the fact, after it's posted, thank you again for learning more about that. Also, YouTube took down one of my live streams, the very first stream we did as Russia was invading Ukraine from the 24th. The CCTV footage of the highway. We were watching vehicles leave the country. We were watching the Russians as they were entering the country through Crimea. We watched Russian soldiers mess with the camera. Like they reached up and grabbed it. We were watching all of that live. Again, we've been covering this war since night one, and I'll show you guys how YouTube took the video down and then labeled it as misinformation. That is very terrifying during a time of war, and when we're covering as much raw and open source information as possible. We're not using opinions or op-ed pieces or assumptions, you know, what could happen. There's lots of sources that are like that, but I'm trying to find direct sources. And during the early invasion of the war, during the early days, there were lots of cameras, lots of CCTV cameras just set up through the country, and we were using that and utilizing that to see what was going on, and then geolocating it using Google Maps, Google Earth, and then saying, okay, look at, all right, there it is, there's what it looked like. It might be a picture on Google Maps from like a couple years ago, but at least you know it was like a real location and it wasn't a fake video of Ukraine. It was an actual CCTV footage. And so that's very troubling. I'm going to be appealing that, and we're going to see what happens. We'll be talking about all that more after this short intro. Again, thank you guys for choosing independent media as your source of the war in Ukraine. everybody, again. Welcome back to the afternoon coverage of the war in Ukraine. I'm your host, Mercado from Independent Media, and let's get into it. So again, last night I was just burned out. There's just a lot going on, and I just needed some sleep early. So I told everybody in the chat, and then I did tweet that I would be live today covering the war and recapping anything from last night, as well as providing live coverage today as we go. So let's read in the description. You guys can follow along. This is in the description of our video. Kyiv administration to step up street patrols on May 8th through 9th. Mayor Vitali Klitschko reminded Kyiv residents to take shelters when the sirens are on because of a high likelihood of bombing in Ukraine in the upcoming days. Russian troops fire at evacuation vehicle near Azovstal and kill a Ukrainian soldier. Russian troops also wounded 6 soldiers who were on their way to pick up civilians from the besieged Azovstal plant. The attack was committed during a pre-agreed upon ceasefire. So, I don't even understand why the agreements, or why there is talks between the Russian military. There isn't ever a true ceasefire. They haven't agreed and followed through on a single one. G7 leaders to hold a video conference with Zelensky on May 8th. It will cover current issues, particularly the situation in Ukraine. President Zelensky will take part and report on the current situation in his country, said Christiane Hoffmann, German government spokesperson. Austria completes shipment of 20 armored vehicles, howitzers, to Ukraine. The last of the 20 Bushmaster armored vehicles were gifted to Ukraine, along with several M777 howitzers are en route to Ukraine. Those are from the United States. So the Bushmaster vehicles from Australia are reaching there, as well as the United States M777 howitzers. Australian ambassador to Ukraine and Moldova said on May 6th. So they're starting to get some of these howitzers and MRAPs from other countries. France agreed to send 12 of their 12 specialized equipment to Ukraine as well. First Lady Jill Biden arrives in Romania for her trip across Eastern Europe and serves food to U.S. troops. She will also spend time visiting with Ukrainian refugees in Romania. Commander, Ukraine launched counteroffensives in the Kharkiv Oblast. Valery Zaluzhny, chief of Ukraine's armed forces, announced that Ukrainian troops have now switched to launching counteroffensives near Kharkiv and the Russian-occupied city of Izium in the Kharkiv Oblast. He added that fierce battles will continue in the vicinity of Popasna, Kremenia, and Torsky in the Luhansk Oblast, where the main efforts of the Russian occupiers are focused. Ministry to remove Russian propaganda literature from Ukrainian libraries. It will be replaced by high-quality Ukrainian language literature and books by Ukrainian publishers, the Culture Ministry said on May 5th. Shorono Baivka major hospitalized. Mayor. I said major. That's Friday. Let me try that again for the third time. Third time's a charm. Shorono Baivka mayor hospitalized, his deputy kidnapped by Russian occupiers. On May 2nd, Russian forces captured the village of Shorono Baivka just north of Kherson, questioning and then kidnapping the deputy mayor. The same day, the mayor of the village, Ihor Dudar, was hospitalized in encounter with Russians who searched his home, authorities reported on May 5th. Russian forces blockade occupied Kherson. For several days, Russian occupiers have not been allowing anyone to leave the occupied areas of Kherson Oblast or enter from the Ukrainian-controlled territories, according to Deputy Head of Kherson Oblast Council Yuri Sobolevsky. Russian troops shell Russian Orthodox monastery in Donetsk Oblast, wound 7 people. The target was Sviatoyorsk Lavra, a monastery of the Russian Orthodox Church's Ukrainian branch in Donetsk Oblast, the Prosecutor General office said. Heavy fighting continued on Thursday in the steel plant of Mariupol, as Russian forces attempted to finish their capture of the port city. According to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, civilians, about 200 per Reuters, remain under the plant and will need to be dug out from their bunkers to ensure the safety amidst their safety amidst the combat. So 200 civilians are left in the Azovstal plant, and that's in the port city of Mariupol. I'm not quite sure on the numbers that are left of the Ukrainian military. 15-year-old volunteer killed by Russian shelling while evacuating animals from a zoo. A team of staff and volunteers were evacuating African buffaloes from the Feldman Eco Park, a zoo located on the outskirts of Kharkiv, and came under fire, its owner, Alexander Feldman, had said. From the Pentagon, Russian troops made, quote, some small progress in the Donbas. Pentagon spokesperson John Kirby said that Russian forces have made some small progress, particularly in the north part of the Donbas. He added that Ukrainians are putting up very stiff resistance. And again, like in the Donbas, they're getting maybe a village, or not even a village, like one house at a time, one little piece at a time in the Donbas. That is to the east. If you guys look at the map, that's in this region. All right. When you think of Donbas, just think of eastern Ukraine. Or when you hear Donbas. Ukraine loses contact with Azovstal defenders amid Russian Ukraine loses contact with Azovstal defenders amidst reports Russian troops have stormed steelworks. In drone footage, the factory was seen being pounded by what appears to be a thermobaric bombs. Again, that's the Azovstal steel plant in the port city of Mariupol. I want to look at the satellite footage. Here it is from the satellite. So about 200 civilians remain in the plant. And again, this plant was built to withstand a nuclear event. The Soviet Union built it to withstand that. So although there are continuous shellings of the plant, and I'm amazed that there are still structures left in this Azovstal steel plant at all. They use thermobaric rounds. Russia's been using thermobaric rounds. Apparently, even though it's against the it's against military, it's against the code, against the Geneva Convention, Russia's just been using it openly. So they're not even, I don't think they're even hiding their use of thermobaric bombs at this point. And thermobaric bombs are those artillery that has, it's like fire comes out afterwards. It's not white phosphorus. We went through a video a few streams ago on what thermobaric is. If you guys are interested, just go through our coverage. Finland and Sweden get security assurances from the United States if they are threatened by Russia if they apply to join NATO. And we were learning about that, and we read some reports a week ago. And let's look that up real quick. US, Sweden, Finland. Because there's going to be a window of time between when they apply to join NATO and when they are accepted. It's not like when Sweden and Finland apply that their application goes through and bam, now they're NATO. There's gonna be a gray period, or like a period in which they're not in NATO, but they're gonna. Let's read the article. U.S. offers assurances to Sweden, Finland over NATO application. The United States is confident it can address any security concerns Sweden and Finland may have about the period of time after they apply for NATO membership and before they are accepted into the alliance, the White House said on Thursday. Sweden and Finland are concerned they would be vulnerable to Russian threats during an application process, which could take up to a year, and to be approved by all 30 NATO members. Wow, so they could not even be in NATO until... No. We are confident that we could find ways to address any concerns either country may have about the period of time between NATO membership application and the formal ascension to the alliance, White House spokesman Jen Psaki told to a briefing. While Sweden and Finland are expected to make a decision about whether to apply to join NATO this month, Swedish Foreign Minister Ann Linde said after meeting with U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken on Wednesday that she had received security assurances but did not give out any details. Sweden's defense minister said last month that an application could trigger a number of responses from Russia, including cyber attacks and hybrid measures such as propaganda campaigns to undermine Sweden's security. That's going to be a nightmare. Yeah, I'm starting to think the 2024, and this is just how I feel, I'm starting to think that 2024 election here in the United States is going to be more than anything. I think that this war, and this is just after 72 days of covering it now, this one's going to be going for a while, like years still. And again, unless an anomaly happens or unless something significant happens to alter the course of what's happening. If this attrition lasts and it just continues, and that application process could take up to a year, that's into 2023. And then what's after 2023? Presidential election in the United States 2024. And there was already an abundance of Russian interference in the 2020 elections. I don't know. I'm seeing this last until the presidential elections that we have again. That's when Russia has their most influence, is when the United States holds their elections. So we'll see on that. All right, let's go around the country. That's just how I feel after covering it for 72 days. I'm thinking that this thing is going to go for a while yet, and it could go until the 2024 presidential elections. Let's go around the country of Ukraine. The first happenings we have today, let's refresh the map. 6 May 2022. Let's do a viewer check-in. If you guys haven't, check into the stream, comment what city and what state you guys are tuned in from, or where in the world. Let's start in Kyiv. Ministers of Foreign Affairs of Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia visiting Kyiv today. Visiting with oh my goodness. Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia. Help. Blooming Kyiv reminds that country is ready for a bright future. We got Denver, Colorado tuned in. BC tuned in. Welcome. Dayton, Ohio. Kenosha, good to see you. We got the Polish-Czech border tuned in. Scary times. From Sweden. Hello from Scotland. Hello some of our viewers from across the water. All right. Let's look at the other update here. Amnesty International Security General armed conflict in Ukraine kills dozens of civilians. What is that about? Amnesty International Secretary General armed conflict in Ukraine kills dozens of civilians unlawfully. I would say more than dozens. So that's just like a report. Wales, United Kingdom. Welcome, Wisconsin. How you doing? Welcome, welcome. Another prisoner swap today. 41 people returned to Ukraine. Among released 28 military and 13 civilians. So these are some updates here. What is it? Yeah, it's May 6th. These are some updates coming out. Another exchange of prisoners took place today, said the head of Ministry of Reintegration, Ernia Vereshchuk. 41 people returned to Ukraine. Among those released were 28 military and 13 civilians, the rector of the Orthodox Church of Ukraine. Prisoner exchange today. 41 people returned. 28 military return. Let's look down here in Odessa. Russian missile shot down over Belgorod, Dnipropetrovsk 10 hours ago. Got a picture here. Let's translate. West Virginia, good to see you. United Kingdom, Wiltshire, good to see you guys. Like the video if you haven't. Thank you everybody for liking. And the Odessa region air defense shot down a Russian missile in the Belgorod, Dnipro region of the Odessa region. The air defenses of Ukraine neutralized a Russian missile which the enemy planted to strike at the infrastructure. Increase activity in Odessa, y'all. What do you guys think of that? It just increased. There hasn't been any strikes within the city, but they're having air defense. There has been strikes weekly. It looks like there's a couple strikes in Mykolaiv we're going to have to check on. The city that Russian forces have occupied in terms of port cities that is closest to Odessa or like to the western southwestern portion of the country is Kherson. That is the last major city that Russian forces have occupied. They've attempted to take Mykolaiv a few times and have failed. In the last attempt that they had on Mykolaiv, the Russian forces were pushed back, and the Ukrainian forces were actually able to regain another city, Alexandriivka. That was a week and a half ago. They attempted to push Mykolaiv and got pushed back. There were a couple strikes that we're going to look at. A Russian drone shot down over the Odessa region. This was 7 hours ago. You can see the smoke plume in the air. Share any news that you guys might have into our Discord server. We have an amazing Discord server. Ukraine video that shows the destruction of a Russian Tor anti-aircraft system by Ukrainian Bayraktar TB2 drone on Zmyny Island, Snake Island. Let's check this out. Ukraine video that shows destruction of a Russian Tor anti-aircraft system by Ukrainian Bayraktar TB2 drone on Snake Island. Here's the coordinates. Let's get this on our maps for geolocation. Over. There's Snake Island here. You guys get it on the get an idea of where it is. All right, there's Odessa. Here's Snake Island. Little Island. I wonder if there's, let's do satellite view. Let me look at it. Oh, nope. Nowhere to go on the ground. But there it is from the satellite. What about right here? What about this? Nope.
Вони захопити хотіли нас зразу, і ми зачаїли на орків образу. З бандитів російських робить примар. Байрактар. Байрактар. Вони захопити хотіли нас зразу, і ми зачаїли на орків образу. З бандитів російських робить примар. Байрактар. Байрактар.
Song's a bop. Song's a bop for real. So that's happening right here. Looking at this building. The camera would be like right here, aiming or looking at it from there. So you got the lighthouse here. So camera would be here looking this way. One more time. One more time, then we'll move on.
Байрактар. Байрактар.
All right, now we'll move on. Here's another one. We got a few other ones. Where's this? What do we got here? Ukraine. Video that shows Wagner mercenaries from Russia being photographed in front of the administrative building in the city of Popasna in the Luhansk Oblast. That's not good. So we got the Wagner militia, military group that Russia uses, or Wagner. I'm gonna keep calling him Wagner. Basically, like Russia's Blackwater. So here, this is where they're at. Here's Luhansk, Donetsk. This is in the Donbas. Here's where those Wagner PMCs are. I want to look at our war map really quick. I don't know why that's included with that over here, but why is it included in the Odessa news? They have Popasna as Russian control now. They have some of it. So here's Popasna. This little pocket you guys can see. This is all, the red line is the area that Russia has had since the invasion. All right, this is the Luhansk and then Donetsk and the Donbas. So the dark red, this is all the region that Russia claimed or annexed. And then same with Crimea. As you guys know, Crimea down here, 2014. All the dark red, that's why it's dark red. All the non-dark red shaded areas is the region that Russia's occupied since the invasion began. So this is this area 2014, this area 2014, and then the rest of it's been since February 24th of this year. So that's why it's not dark red. So this to the east of Popasna, all of this has been taken since the second push in the Donbas after Ukrainian forces pushed the Russians out of the northwest and northeast of Kyiv. They were regrouped in the east, They've been regrouping in the Donbas, and they've been taking little bits of villages here and there. And that's why we were getting reports from the U.S. intelligence saying that there are incremental gains by Russian forces in the east. So here's Popasna, Wagner PMCs, Wagner Group, reverse side of the medal. There they are. Looking at pictures, you guys can see the Russian, they got the white bands. Okay, that's Russian forces. White bands or yellow bands, both Russian military, the Wagner PMC group, and the Chechens. Administrative building in the city of Popasna. Is this on the, hold on, where is this within the country though? They already have it divided up on the map. So would that be accurate? Here's the administrative building. Yeah, that's accurate for how much that they have taken. If they're at the administrative building here, then they're working from east to west, just moving across the country. The city, I mean. That's what they're gonna. That's their goal, macro. The goal is to take the east and then move west from the east. Now, they tried blitzkrieging Kyiv and failed, and now it's just gonna be a long, drawn out battle in the east, slowly taking villages if they can. I'm not gonna give Russia any upper hand in my language here, saying that it's inevitable, because all of us did that when they were invading, when they were pushing in on Kyiv. And I mean, I thought so too. I thought Kyiv was going to get taken that week, and the Ukrainians fought and pushed them out and have been fighting back. So Ukrainians have more than shown that they can handle themselves, they can handle the Russian military. So that's if the Ukrainian military fails to hold the Russian push here. So we'll see how the Ukrainians are able to hold that region. They're receiving lots of howitzers. The M77 howitzers from the United States are getting over there. They're getting Kazovac vehicles, so they can quickly get back to, I mean, wherever their medical is in the region. They can get back and get their wounded and bring in fresh troops, especially with those Australian Bushmaster vehicles that they're receiving. Those things can really traverse terrain. Let's continue down here into the Donbas. I don't know why that. Is there more video? This is back on Snake Island. More Bayraktar TB2 footage on Snake Island. I'm sorry, I don't know why they included the Donbas over here. We'll get over there and cover the happenings in the east. I just don't want to get you guys confused on locations.
Майор Чернобай. По антеннам отработали, 2 уничтожено, 2 посекло. Все. 30 секунд.
I'm a liar if they think they meant to take Kyiv. They were literally at the zoo. You listen. You see how it says day 72 on there? We have been covering this since day 1. This is how close the Russian army was in the first week. I guess we have clowns in the chat today. It's okay, we'll fix that. We'll send them back to the circus. So this is how close the Russian forces were the first week. They were fighting in Kyiv. Where's the zoo? Uh-oh. Where's the zoo? Right down the street. Let me type it in. Let me type it in so I get it exactly. We have clowns this afternoon, it looks like. Yeah, they did try to take Kyiv. They failed miserably. There it is. Look at it. They got all the way to the zoo, and then they got pushed back. Here's the zoo. All right, zoo park. And then there's where all the live streams were. Right down the street. They got right there. They were for sure trying to take the administrative buildings and take over. They were fighting in Irpin for like damn near a month over here. They're right here. This is where all the war crimes are. All the mass graves are right here. They were for sure trying to take the capital and failed. Then they would have been able to pound the capital with the same propaganda that they're pounding the east with and the south. Kherson, they're doing the same thing that they did in the Donbas. To take that city through propaganda means and play on any Russian speaking or Russian national people there to believe the propaganda that they're saying. Same exact strategy. They haven't changed their strategy. That's the one thing I don't understand on why Western... I gotta refresh that. On why Western governmental organizations aren't able to see the patterns that they do the same exact thing. All right, let's continue on over here to the southwest, underneath Snake Island. Admiral Gorogovich class frigate of the Russian Navy Black Sea Fleet is reportedly on fire near Zimny Island in the Black Sea. Rescue operation ongoing, multiple aircraft rescue vessels in the area. Rob's been pointing this out. Isn't it amazing how the Russian Navy is getting hit and Ukraine doesn't have a Navy? How is the Russian Navy taking L's and the Ukraine doesn't have a Navy? Wild. Let's read about this. Updated information on another burning Russian warship. A cotton explosion followed by a fire on board the Russian Burovitsk type frigate of Project 11365R, which is located near Snake Island. As it became known to Domskaya, enemy aircraft are now circling over the area of the Black Sea. Rescue ships have come out to help the ship from the temporary occupied Crimea. What caused the incident of an emergency situation among occupiers, which of the 3 frigates of this type from the Black Sea Fleet of the Russian Federation has damaged? Whether he will finally go to hell after the cruiser Moskva is not yet clear. We are figuring it out. Note that information about the explosion on the ship appeared in social networks last night. We received confirmation today. Cotton explode. What did it say? Cotton explosion. Come on. Russian warship. Another one? Moskva seeking. Oh, what's this? Russian warship Admiral Makarov on fire after being hit by Ukrainian missile. Ship was sailing near Snake Island when it was hit. Russia's Admiral Makarov warship has been hit by Ukrainian missiles and burst into flames, according to Ukrainian officials. The frigate would be Russia's latest high-profile naval loss in a troubled campaign, coming after reports that U.S. intelligence helped Ukraine locate and sink the Russian warship Moskva weeks ago. Wow. Another one. I should have my DJ Khaled sound. Another one. Another Russian warship is burning in the Black Sea. A Russian frigate is on fire in the Black Sea after being hit by Ukrainian missiles, according to Ukrainian media. The ship is reportedly a frigate-sized vessel, possibly the Admiral Makarov, one of Russia's newest and most advanced frigates. The 4,000-ton vessel is one of the largest warships in Russia's Black Sea Fleet, which is a key part of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Imagine not having a navy and then still able to take out ships like this. Ukrainian news site Dumskaya, English translation here, identified the ship as a Russian frigate Project 11365P of the Burovitsk type, a description that does correspond to the Admiral Grigovich class vessels, also known as frigate IVs, which includes the Admiral Makarov. Well, let's go ahead and look at the Admiral Makarov and see what it does. Yikes. Another one. First the Moskva, now it's looking like the Admiral Makarov. Isn't that the name of the character in Call of Duty? Isn't that the Call of Duty character? Last minute's Russian flagship. That doesn't look like.
According to breaking news, another blow to Russia. Ukraine shot Admiral Makarov. We are here with the last-minute developments of the Ukraine-Russia war. The Ukrainian attack, which has been going on for more than 2 months, continues unabated. Until the past 2 weeks, the war was taking place.
No, I want to know what it is. Here, World of Warships. This is in the game World of Warships, yo? They sunk a big one. Or they hit a big ship.
And
I don't even want to. This is okay. This is a video game, right? But the fact that this warship is in, like, known and in a video game. Breaking: Russia's Admiral Makarov ship on fire. I shouldn't say sunk. It's on fire. Currently on fire. Hours ago. I would like to learn about it. Probably not going to get too many videos of. Here we go. Oh, World of Warships Legends. So you can only watch it on World of Warships. That's a video game. The fact they have this ship in a video game. Here's some a good channel. They just were able to take out their little boats last week in the sea with the drones. No, okay. I guess there isn't too much information on that warship. If you guys can come across a video about what that warship is about, you know what I mean, where we look at equipment. Admiral Makarov, what is this?
Hi guys, welcome back to World of Warship and to Let's Talk Ship, where I'm playing.
I'm not watching it through a. Okay, so this is what's going on in these videos. Again, this ship is in a video game called World of Warships, and there's breakdowns of the ship through the video game, and I don't want to. I'm not doing that. I want to see a video from real life about it. What's this? Here we go. It's this guy again.
Admiral Makarov, hull number 799, is the third of 6 Admiral Grigorovich-class frigates. The remaining 3 frigates are expected to be delivered to the Russian Navy between 2022 and 2026. Currently, Admiral Makarov is serving in the Black Sea Fleet. Admiral Makarov was laid down at the Yontar shipyard of Kaliningrad, Russia, on February 29, 2012. She was launched on September 2, 2015, and formally commissioned for service on December 27, 2017. Admiral Makarov, representing the new generation of frigates of Project 11356. The frigates of this project are designed to destroy enemy surface warships, submarines and ground bases, conducting
it sounds like it's going to identify as a submarine soon.
Patrols to protect sea routes. Project 11356's frigates are a further development of the Talwar class, a missile frigate project that Russia built and exported to India since 1999.
Interesting. Okay. So it looks like that happened in the last few hours. We're going to have to wait for more updates on that. Another ship, y'all. Admiral Makarov. We're going to have to keep tracking that. I'll share this article into our Discord server. All right, you guys can find this in our Discord. And keep the conversation going. If you guys haven't joined our Discord server, please do so. We have readable links, video clips. I'm going to share that now. Keep up on the Admiral Makarov ship. All right. Reconnaissance of allies over the Black Sea, U.S. Navy, PS Poseidon, the Turkish Navy. Okay, Global Black Hawk. So they're tracking reconnaissance of allies over the Black Sea. U.S. Navy, Turkish Navy, Royal Air Force, and the U.S. Air Force. Looking at the flight radar. We have people in our community that use this flight radar, and it's actually pretty cool, a pretty good resource. You can look at live air traffic information, and people are hyper focused over here, and it's getting interesting in the Black Sea. Royal Air Force Rivet joint operation off Crimea and South Russia. Interesting. Royal Air Force Rivet joint operation off Crimea and South Russia. I've seen several smaller plane UAVs over the Black Sea during war, but this seems rare. Who's this? Director of Nuclear Information Product, Federation of American Scientists. Right. People that are tracking the air traffic in the Black Sea. Very important. Especially as there's increased reports of happenings within the Black Sea and Russian ships getting hit. All right, let's work over to Mykolaiv. We're still on the south coast. This city is a little inland, but it's still a coastal city. Big explosion reported in the Mykolaiv region 9 hours ago. 24 SAMs and 8 cruise missiles on the Makarov. Check McClay Kim video. He's the governor. Send those to our Discord server if you guys could, if you have one. If you have any more on the Makarov. Totally down to check out as much as possible the Makarov since that is recent. Report about a powerful explosion in Mykolaiv. No pictures. Explosions are audible in Mykolaiv. So shellings in the city of Mykolaiv. This is at May 5th, 3:10 in the afternoon. So a day ago in Mykolaiv, there were strikes. Going down to the occupied city of Kherson. Russia has come to Kherson region forever, and there will be no return to the past, said Secretary of United Russia General Counsel Andrei Churchak. Interesting. Russia has come to the Kherson region forever, and there will be no return to the past. That is coming from United Russia General. So that's his opinion. From somebody that would say such a thing. Below that, we got Russians set up multiple checkpoints in Kherson today, 11 hours ago. And Victory Day is on May 9th. I'm going to be streaming that parade. If you guys are interested, we're going to be checking it out. We'll be live reacting to it. There's going to be allegedly a parade going to be taking place in Mariupol after Russian forces claimed victory over the city. We'll be working our way down there. There's Crimea. Russian troops shelled Zarodovka, Zelendolsk. Oh man, I should just do this. I haven't pronounced any of these cities.
Zarodovka, Zelenodolsk, Knyazevka, Trudolubivka, Topoline, Dobryanka, Velika Kostromka.
That was terrible. Zarodovka, Zelendolsk, Knyazevka, Trudolubivka, Topoline, Dobry. Oh my goodness. These ones. Alright, you guys can read them on the screen. Velkia Kozromka. I probably butchered all those. Ukrainian forces shot down the Orlan 10 drone in the Kryvyi Rih front line. We watched Operator Starsky break down one of those Orlan drones. Pretty cheap. Did the best I could. I haven't pronounced these cities. The ones that we've been saying over and over again, I'm getting those ones down. So south of the Kryvyi Rih region. All right. Let's work east. Russian troops shelled Kaminsky village in Zaporizhia region. Took me a couple weeks to say Zaporizhia. I'm able to say that right off the top. Occupiers fired on the village of Kamenskoye in the Vasilivsky district. A green corridor was supposed to open through this settlement. So as a result of another armed attack by Russians on Kamenskoye, private houses were damaged. It's okay, you guys can't pronounce it. I do the best I can. Zaporizhia region. Russian artillery and aviation shelling Mariupol and Kharkiv today. 8 hours ago. Russian artillery and aviation shelling. Keeping working our way east. Let's go down to Mariupol. UN says it has documented cases of Ukrainian men being executed and sent to camps in Russia and Belarus. No, the chat's on. The Ukrainian military, the UN rights official says cases of Ukrainian men after being, let me try this again. UN rights official says cases of Ukrainian men being executed or sent to camps have been documented. It's from the New York Times. The top human rights official at the United Nations said on Thursday that her staff had documented scores of cases of Russian forces targeting male civilians around Kyiv, beating, detaining, or executing some and taking some to detention camps inside Russia. My staff met with families who are searching for their missing male relatives, desperate to know where they are, if they are alive, and how they can get them back, said the official. Michelle Bachelet said, speaking at a meeting of the UN Security Council. Ms. Bachelet said her office had recorded 180 cases of forced disappearance of local officials, journalists, activists, civilians, and retired servicemen, and 8 cases of pro-Russian individuals who had disappeared. The United States assumed the rotating presidency of the Security Council of the month of May, and Thursday's session was the first of the body's meetings on Ukraine that it led. The U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, Linda Thomas Greenfield, said that there were no signs of Russia's war against Ukraine is abating. What does abating mean? That's a new word for me. What's abating mean? New word learned today. Expanding vocabulary. Something perceived as hostile, threatening, or negative. No signs Russia's war against Ukraine. Okay. Said that there were 2 ways the Security Council could help the country return to normalcy by supporting the Ukrainian people and by holding Russia accountable. The meeting followed a familiar pattern. UN officials offered briefings on the latest humanitarian toll and efforts to provide aid. Diplomats sounded the alarms and condemned Russia, and Russia dismissed all accusations as falsehoods. Diplomats' statements on Security Council have had little impact on the ground, with Russia's veto power blocking any legally binding resolutions to the war. But Western diplomats said holding regular meetings on the conflict kept Ukraine at the center of the Security Council's debates and demonstrated Russia's isolation. Antonio Guterres, the UN Security General, traveled to Russia and Ukraine last week and through quiet diplomacy, said the United Nations brokered a deal for the safe evacuation of about 500 civilians trapped in Mariupol and other areas while fighting has been intense. There's about 200 civilians left in the Azovstal plant. So they've been able to get some out every day. There's about 200 remaining. Extensive evacuation of the bombed Mariupol drama theater is underway. New satellite images from Maxar Technologies show. The images taken on May 6th show a crane and trucks on the site. So this is the latest footage from the satellite. Like the video if you guys haven't. Welcome to Mercado Media. So they have workers working to help civilians get out. All right. Continuing around. City of the Azovstal plant. 1 killed, 6 wounded as a result of a Russian ATGM strike at evacuation vehicle at Azovstal. Scroll down. Consequences of the shelling of the evacuation vehicle, the Azov regiment also showed a video of the wounded man's condition. However, these are sensitive footage. You can watch the video. Okay. As a result of the shelling, one fighter was killed and 6 are wounded. You don't need to see that. There's an air raid alarm in Mykolaiv. Almost 500 civilians evacuated from Mariupol and continuing operation from the Ukrainian presidency. Clashes near Yasunovata. Yasunovata. Probably said that wrong. Yasinovataya. That sounds like a better way to say it. Yasinovataya. Now we're working our way around to the east on our war map, getting into the Donbas. Missile launches from Kyiv. So you guys can, here it is on our map, geolocated, and they got a couple videos. Russian occupieds to the northeast of Donetsk. So again, we're in the Donbas region. We're to the east of Ukraine, going over geolocated happenings within the country. These that get posted to social media or articles written online, and then they're geolocated and then pinged on our map. So here's video. Doesn't appear to be any sound. Hello from Georgia. Slava Ukraine. Good to have you. Good morning. Well, it's technically afternoon for us now here, almost at 2 p.m. Good to have you guys. If this is a good time, too, to start covering the war, I can do 2-a-days again. I just can't do it early in the morning. But if this is a good time to cover it during the day for those that can't stay up all night long with our nightly coverage, I might consider implementing this time. Continue down.
Сбили, одну сбили, одна еще полетела сейчас. Вот сейчас будет бах уже. Что-то куда-то попало.
Hello from West Virginia. Good to see you.
Как ебануло. Да, вон падает. Если присмотреться, видно двойная хуйня.
About to say, this has been a good time so far. We've had well over 1,000 in the entire stream.
О! Не знаю, слышно было на видосе. Да, сбили одну хуйню. Заебись.
It's not like I'll quit doing the night streams, but I'm amazed with how many people we've had at this stream. Welcome. If you guys are brand new, comment in the chat if you're new to the stream. But it's good to see the amounts that I used to have. I thought my channel was getting shadow banned. Heavy clashes continue in Popasna. Tanks, artillery, multiple launch rocket systems, and planes used. This is the city of Popasna that we saw the Wagner PMC groups standing in front of the admin building. The city of Popasna. Assault attacks on the forehead did not lead to anything. The enemy was repulsed and also tried to crush tanks and infantry. Hail, hurricanes, art are working on us. Art is artillery. Planes are also bombing. They tried to work through in one direction, but nothing worked. New from the Mitten State. It's good to have you. All right, I'm seeing that this is a good time. I'll still, what I would do then is I'd probably have the night stream be a little shorter. I'll figure it out, but I'm seeing that this is a good time for everyone. Let's continue on around. Again, we're in the Donbas region. Heavy clashes near Severodonetsk. Two days of silence are over. The city is again under shelling with electricity and mobile communication problems, fighting outside the city of Kyiv. I said Kyiv. I don't know why I said Kyiv. I was looking at another thing, but not the city of Kyiv. the city of Severodonetsk. 2 days of silence are over. The city is again under shelling with electricity and mobile communication problems fighting outside the city. Severodonetsk. Staying in the Donbas region, this is Kramatorsk. A big fire in the Kramatorsk after missile strike. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel so you guys get your notifications. Thank you to G-Man Uncensored for the subscribe. Thank you to Mike P. Thank you to Alvis Kubars. Thank you to Mr. Eric Grammel. Thank you to Olaf Sailor, By the Drip, John R. Alala. Thank you, Brenda. Thank you, Roderick. Thank you, Andreas, Justin Stiles, Miss Tough, TOD Thomas, Kyra, Rocky the Great Dane. Thank you, Zappy. Thank you, Dan H. Thank you, Guy. Thank you, Chris, Kojax, and Israel for all subscribing during this stream. Thank you. Staying in the Donbas region. Big explosion in Kramatorsk. I'm guessing this is the same report. Same report, different picture. Here's we got this of the event. This is a video of Kramatorsk. So those channels that have the live cameras, there's still some channels out there. It's very hard to find credible live cameras now. Hey Andrew, how are you? Got your membership back. Thank you, Georgia. Member Day is tomorrow from now on. The chat will be for supporters only on Saturdays. Members and supporters. Thank you. Oh wow, we just had a whole bunch. Thank you, Daniel, Pat. Thank you, Pepe, Georgia, Eric, Rife, Shannon, Brenda. Thank you, Adam and Liz. Thank you, Joao and S. Howard. Thank you guys so much for subscribing so you guys don't miss out. Ukrainian military shot down 10 Orlan 10 drones over the Donbas. Those drones are junk. Those Orlan 10s that Russia's using, not good drones. They're surveillance drones, but they're not good. One killed as a result of Russian missile shelling in Lazova territorial community. Let's translate this and then look at the video. Yeah, they got a Canon 10 on there, Dakota. They got a camera that you can go pick up at Target or Best Buy. The enemy fired on the Loziv community, killing one person, OTG Chairman Serhiy Zelensky said. Today was a tragic day. Our territorial community was fired at with rockets. There is one victim. The territorial defense. Again, territorial defense is civilians. This is straight from him.
Добрий вечір, дорогі земляки. Сьогодні був трагічний день. Нашу територіальну громаду обстріляли ракетами. Є одна жертва. Загинула людина.
You saw the fire was starting on the ship 8 hours ago. All right, working our way to Kharkiv. Kharkivsta Oblast, red alert, aerial alert, sirens sounding, take cover. That was an hour ago. There was a siren alert in the Kyiv Oblast, looks like to the south, and right in the city. To the east of Kharkiv, looks like a bunch of villages taken back. 3 hours ago, during counteroffensive, defense forces of Ukraine regained control over the settlements of Oleksandriivka, Fedorivka, Ukrainka, Shestakov, Premoha, and part of the village of Sharatsky Chisky in the Kharkiv region, the General Staff of Armed Forces of Ukraine. So these flags are villages and territories that Ukrainian forces have regained control of to the east of Kharkiv. They've been getting more and more back. So it seems like Ukrainian forces are doing well to the east of Kharkiv and pushing or regaining villages. And then down here in the Donbas, Russian forces are slowly regaining area here. So although Ukrainian forces are regaining villages to the east of Kharkiv, to the northern region of Donbas, Russian forces are are getting little bits and pieces in the southern part of the Donbas, the southeastern region, it'd be west of Luhansk and then northeast of Donetsk. So there's a little bit of a trade-off. I would argue that Ukrainian forces are gaining more area back than Russian forces are gaining control of. But there is a trade-off going. So that's good to see. Ukrainian forces regaining control of their own country. What do we have here? Security Service of Ukraine detained one Russian sniper. Security Services of Ukraine detained. What does this mean? In the Kharkiv region, the SBU captured 11 Russian snipers. The detainees joined the so-called 115th Regiment of the DNR, which fired on Ukrainian positions. They captured 11 Russian snipers. They joined they call it the so-called 115th Regiment because that DNR, that Donetsk People's Republic, isn't recognized by Ukraine. It's a Russian separatist group. Smoke visible over, oh my goodness, this is now in Russia. This is in the Belgorod region. So more fires in Belgorod, Russia. The smoke turns into a big cloud. So we got like a description. Not really much of a report. Oh, here might be a better one. In the direction of Shabinko, smoke is visible in several places. We are waiting for official information. Send a photo, video, or information. This is in Belgorod, Russia. Another favorite tactic of Russian trolls is they'll do whatabouts. What about this issue? What about that issue? What about this issue? What about that issue? While they're watching a Ukraine war coverage stream. People don't want to watch things that aren't on topic. It's just not how things. I mean, there's certain people that like that, but those that want to actually focus don't like things that are just all over the place. Damage after shelling near Volosky village in the Belgorod region. Again, here's Belgorod. That's Russia. That would be super southeast Russia. Okay, I'm trying to find a better. Here's Belgorod. Okay. Russia is such a giant country. So it's to the south. No, it'd be to the southwest of Russia, east of Ukraine. Far east in Ukraine, it could be considered southwest of Russia, right here. Here's Kharkiv, and here's Belgorod. Look at the crater. Look at the person standing in it. It looks like it's geolocated. Today in the early morning, the village of Volosky, Belgorod region near the border, an unknown projectile turned the road. According to local residents, a fighter jet was seen in the sky before arrival. Ukraine landing missiles in Russian territory now? False flags? Is there a geolocation on here? Wonder if this is a geolocated spot. Yep. Nice. So here it is on the map. Right on the red marker. So here's Kharkiv. Here's the border. Right on the border. Is there a... Oh, yeah, we can go check it out. Well, it looks like farmland. So they hit this area out here. Maybe a retaliatory strike that isn't gonna hit civilians. A misfire by Russian artillery. You've seen Russian artillery, that's awful. Any scene or any UAV satellite video of Russian artillery, just the whole countryside is riddled with holes in it because their artillery is incredibly inaccurate. So this is the area that in Belgorod, it's out in the middle of a field. Okay. Belgorod. Smoke visible. Oh, we saw that. So a couple more, a crater and smoke in Belgorod, Russia. And then now this is in Belarus. 12:30, a missile was launched from Zayabaruka in the Gomel region, Belarus. We watched in our last stream how many missiles are sent from Belarus into Ukraine. Is what, 613? All right, let's go to Rob Lee's war footage, war clips from the last couple days, and get the. Actually, no, let's go to John Sweeney first before we go to the combat clips and military clips. All right, so we missed 71 and 72 from John. All right, here it is. Day 71. We'll do 71 and then 72 from John Sweeney, one of the sources that we've been looking at in his daily diaries. Orange hats in the chat. Here we go. John Sweeney, Kyiv Diary, Day 71.
Kyiv Diary, Day 71 of Vladimir Putin's war. Vladimir Putin's lullaby sounds out yet again. It's the air raid sirens here in Kyiv. There's no danger of Russian artillery, they're far too far away. However, there is a chance of a cruise missile punching its way through the Ukrainian air defences. And as the war drones on, this becomes more and more boring because, to be honest, there are no true military targets here in Kyiv which are aside from civilian targets. So if the Russians seek to strike anything here, they'll kill ordinary people, and that is a crime against the rules of war. But of course, the Kremlin doesn't care about that. What matters is to help the Ukrainians fight this war, and so far the news is good. After a lot of dithering in the various capitals of the free world, the British, then the Americans, and now the Europeans, the Poles and the Estonians and the Lithuanians, and everybody in the Baltics was pretty bloody good. But there's a problem with sanctions. Both the Chinese Communist Party in China and the current clowns who rule what is supposed to be a democracy, India, are helping the Kremlin cheat sanctions. The ruble has recovered much of its value from the start of the war, and depressingly, Russia keeps on managing to pay off its sovereign debt in dollars. So the problem with the economic war is that Russia is still standing, and that's not good. So let's do better with the economic war. Love from Kyiv.
All right. That's from John saying let's do better with the economic war because Russia has been able to essentially evade the sanctions with the ruble. They haven't been affected yet, but what we've been learning is that it's more of a bubble right now for Russia, and it could burst, or it will eventually. It's just a matter of when. Their economic bubble. Kyiv Diary Day 71 update from Soviet Zemyan Gluzman. We know where Vladimir Putin is ending up.
71 of Vladimir Putin's war. I'm with my two favorite Ukrainians. Drink has been taken. Lisa the Axe Kozlenko, Semyon Gluzman, the president of the Ukrainian Psychiatric Association. And we have a simple message to Vladimir Putin. Do fuck off. Semyon, say that in Ukrainian.
I want to see him
dead.
Yes.
In The Hague.
Want to watch his gravestone.
And The Hague is better.
And I want.
We can skip that part.
And I want.
She's like, gravestone's better.
International Court.
In The Hague.
Good.
Vladimir
They haven't
Putin,
done anything.
You're going to The Hague.
Is he?
In trouble.
Is he though? I have no confidence in the Hague. Sorry, I personally don't. Anyone else in the chat have confidence in the Hague Convention after what we've seen from them? Kyiv Diary Day 72 thread 1 out of 2 taking on Putin podcast episode 6. The killing machine out now. This episode starts with the murder of a song.
Putin's
So this is his update from 72, 4 hours ago. Today's update.
war. My latest podcast in the series taking on Putin is out. It's called The Killing Machine. And it doesn't start with anyone being killed. It starts with a group of Hollywood celebrities. People like Kurt Russell, Goldie Hawn, Gerard Depardieu, Monica Bellucci, and others, clapping a man who's murdering Blueberry Hill. And the man who's murdering Blueberry Hill is Vladimir Putin. Now, these people, they're just gormless Hollywood stars. But what they did was they picked up the mood from the West, which was to keep on giving Vladimir Putin the benefit of the doubt. Now, there's an argument. Is it the swamp or is it the monster? Is it Russia or is it the monster who has driven this brutal and cruel and stupid war? The answer is it's the swamp and it's the monster. It's the monster in the swamp. But for far too long we knew he was a monster and we looked the other way because the West liked Vladimir Putin's dirty dark gold. I'm also thinking, in defending at least some of the creatures in the swamp, that they had a go. There were brave people like Anna Politkovskaya and Natasha Esmerova and Boris Nemtsov, all of whom were very critical of Vladimir Putin. They were all shot. I knew them all. They were friends of mine. This episode, The Killing Machine, is also about a man called Yuri Shekachikin. He tried to tell the truth about the Moscow apartment bombs and he was poisoned horribly. So listen out for Taking on Putin, episode 6.
Vladimir Putin's big strategy is poisons people that speak out against him. Any journalists or anyone that does have an opinion against him or tries to shed light on what the Kremlin is doing and what Russia is doing, they get poisoned. Here's more information from the Makarov. Putin humiliated as Ukraine claims 409-foot frigate sunk by missile, most important ship. So this is the latest. The Admiral Makarov is said to have been struck by anti-ship missiles while it was in the waters off the coast of Odessa. Russian ships and aircraft have reportedly been to the area and are being tracked by U.S. surveillance drones. OSINT Defender, an open source intelligence monitor, tweeted, "It seems more and more likely that the claims of the Russian frigate Admiral Makarov being struck by Ukrainian anti-ship missiles off the coast of Odessa are true. Multiple rescue ships and aircraft are reportedly in the area with U.S. surveillance drones keeping eyes on it." Social media user UOI, a war analyst, wrote, "Sources say Russian frigate was hit by a Neptune missile and is on fire near Snake Island. Whether the Russian or Ukrainian officials have yet officially confirmed that the Russian frigate was hit. Neither. If the reports are confirmed, this would represent another humiliating blow for Vladimir Putin and his naval high command. Last month, the flagship of the Black Sea, the Moskva, was struck after being hit by Neptune missiles fired by the Ukrainian army." If it was hit by Neptune missiles, and if the Moskva was hit by Neptunes, and now this one was hit by Neptunes, I'm going to bank that this was a Ukrainian strike on it then too. The 409-foot Admiral Makarov is one of the most important ships at the disposal of the Black Sea Fleet. Here's a picture of it. It belongs to the Admiral Grigovich class of frigates and boasts impressive and powerful defense systems. The frigate is armed with 24 Buk medium-range surface-to-air missiles and 8 Kaliber cruise missiles, all in vertical cells. It is one of the 3 such frigates in the possession of the Russian Black Sea Fleet. The Admiral Makarov was commissioned in 2017 and its most modern vessel in her class, and it was a prime target for the Ukrainian army. The frigate is fairly small in comparison to other warships. It has a crew of just 200. I'm going to do a poll real quick. Russian TV commenters discussing firing nukes at London. I think we saw that video. Is this the video of the Makarov? Footage of the burning Admiral Makarov frigate. How is the Russian Navy getting hit in a land war like this? This is allegedly video of the Makarov. So you had the Moskva a couple weeks ago, and now you got the Admiral Makarov. These ships have no countermeasures to a Neptune rocket. Interesting. Let's go on Ukraine War Report real quick on the Reddit. See if there's anything new. More fires in Russia? 8 hours ago. 5 hours ago. So Admiral Makarov was on fire 5 hours ago. See if there's anything new on that. Admiral Makarov. The Russian frigate may have been hit by Ukrainian anti-ship missiles. The vessel, the Admiral Makarov, was reportedly struck near Snake Island by Ukrainian-made Neptune anti-ship missiles. The Russian frigate may have been struck by anti-ship missiles in the Black Sea. Ukrainian outlet Dumskaya reported on Friday. The vessel, the Admiral Makarov, was reportedly struck near Snake Island by Ukrainian-made Neptune anti-ship missiles. According to Dumskaya, Admiral Makarov is damaged and on fire, but has not sunk. Open source and analysts at OSINT Defender said that claims are becoming more likely to be true as multiple rescue ships and aircraft are reportedly in the area with U.S. surveillance drones and keeping an eye on it. Let's go to OSINT Defender's They're on our list for Ukraine war coverage. Here it is, straight from the source. It's deeming more and more likely that claims about the Russian frigate Admiral Makarov being stuck, I'm assuming it's meant to say struck here, by Ukrainian anti-ship missiles off the coast of Odessa is true. Multiple rescue ships and aircraft are reportedly in the area with U.S. surveillance drones and keeping an eye on it. I'm going to put a poll in the chat now. Who hit the Admiral Makarov? Very just embarrassing for the Russian military. I mean, just have the fact that they've lost 10 generals, they're losing their battleships without having to fight a navy. Tough times. Let me pull up I'm gonna put up a poll in the chat. Who hit the Admiral Makarov? We got Ukraine. Yeah, 10 generals. Then we got Russia. Then what else we got? And maybe we'll say an accident, and unsure. I don't know what you guys think. I'm thinking it was Ukraine's army. They use that same exact. What was it called? The Neptune anti-ship missiles. They use those Neptune anti-ship missiles against the Moskva too, and it was the Ukraine army. They haven't claimed responsibility to this point. I'm thinking it was Ukraine. This is what they hit them with. Weapons of the World YouTube channel. Credit. Let's find out about these Neptunes. Hey CD, how you doing? The video is called Weapons of the World. It's going to tell us about this Neptune missile.
Reportedly, Russian frigate Admiral Azovstal was hit by Ukrainian-made Neptune cruise missile. This is still unconfirmed.
That was over a month ago.
Information. But if true, this is the first time that Ukrainian forces to have used the homemade Neptune anti-ship cruise.
This won't be the first time now. So that's old info, but they're going to talk about the Neptune in this video. But the ship was old news.
Missile. The Neptune, or RK-360, is an anti-ship missile which entered service with the Ukrainian Navy in March 2021. The Neptune Coastal Missile Division is thought to consist of 72 R-360 missiles, with 24 missiles being carried on 4 USPU-360 8x8 launchers. The remaining missiles are carried by transporters and loading vehicles. The turbojet engine, known as MS-400, is produced by Motor Sich, and its homing head, capable of detecting of a target up to ranges of 50 km, is developed by the Ukrainian enterprise Radionics.
So it's a Ukrainian.
The Neptune have inertial navigation system with active radar homing on the terminal stage of its flight. The missile travels 10 to 15 meters above the surface. In the terminal stage of the flight, it will descend to 3 to 10 meters above the surface in order to overcome hostile defense systems. This missile travels at subsonic speed. It is
Someone in the chat said the Russian dolphins switch sides.
estimated that due to its subsonic speed, that anti-ship missile can be intercepted rather easily, especially by advanced defense system.
Yeah, what happened to the Russian dolphin defense, yo? Russian dolphin defense gave up.
The Neptune are many similarities to the Russian Kh-35 family of anti-ship missiles. Both the Neptune and the Kh-35U have similar diameters of 0.5 meter, although the Neptune is longer, due to it possibly carrying more fuel with a length of approximately 5 meter,
the dolphins defected,
including the booster, compared to the Kh-35, which has a length of 4 meter. They also have their differences, with the Neptune's booster having a different mechanism for folding its fins. Differences are also observed near the cable ducts and the engine intakes. Many of these similarities are likely due to Russia and Ukraine sharing a common Soviet legacy. Neptune's range and capabilities gives the Ukrainian Navy lots of flexibility on how to use it. The missile, when launched from Ukraine's coastline.
Okay, so that's probably coming straight from Odessa then, huh? Right from the coastline somewhere. They're able to hit these targets. So Ukrainian Navy, so they have a navy, they just don't have any ships. Their navy consists of coastal defense.
Can hit naval ships near and beyond Crimea in the Black Sea. When launched from Ukraine's west coast, the missile can strike ships in the Sea of Azov and potentially target ports as well. Overall, the new Ukrainian coastal defense missile system could be an equivalent of a Russian Bal coastal defense system, though not as capable. A typical Neptune coastal defense battery consists of 6 launcher vehicles with a total of 24 anti-ship missiles. Launcher vehicles can be located up to 25 km from the sea. It takes 15 minutes to prepare this coastal defense missile system for firing. In 2021, a new Mineral U radar was revealed. It was specially developed for the Neptune system. It can detect ships at a range of up to 500 to 600 kilometers.
Just not battleships, right? Wow, so their coastal defense is strong. I'm liking to bet all of those trucks that...
At this point, you know what has happened.
Those Neptune teams are over in here, just locked on to the Black Sea. Thank you for sharing that to our Discord. Let's do a viewer check-in. Comment where you guys are tuned in from, what city, what state, or where in the world you guys are watching from. Again, I'm your host, Andy Mercado, independent journalist, U.S. Army veteran. We're on day 72 of covering the war. You've been covering it since day one. You guys are locked in here. We are live right now here on a Friday afternoon in Minnesota. Ukrainian troops destroyed Russian equipment in the direction of Izium in the Kharkiv Oblast. We're going to show you guys where Izium is. So we're going to go to the latest on our timeline, since there's some latest news happening, including the Admiral Makarov Russian ship being hit. What do we got here? Tampa, Florida, Rhode Island, Virginia. How you doing? Your desk at work. Good to see you. Dolphin Hit Squad. Palm Desert. Good to see you. Houston, Texas. Lots of Texas now. Good to have you. The Baltic States. Latvia. Good to have you. Buffalo, New York is tuned in. This is an Izium. Get your bearings here. The town of Izium. Here it is on our war map. Russian occupied. South of Kharkiv, north of Luhansk and Donetsk. It looks like halfway between Kharkiv and Donetsk and Luhansk in this area, in this region.
И так будет с каждым, сука, пидорасом, блядь. Ха, сука, черти ебаные, блядь. Петушки, блядь.
Якщо нема, откинули і йобнули в нього, щоб ніхто інший.
Вторая армия мира, блядь.
So this means that Ukrainian forces are fighting in Izium. So although it is Russian occupied now, who knows, that could change. That could change soon. If we're seeing video of Ukrainian forces and Russian vehicles destroyed in Izium, this map could change. That means that there's Ukrainian forces. Does it say in the village? In the direction of Izium. Okay. In the direction, that doesn't necessarily give a specific point, but the fact that there are Ukrainian troops around Izium, a good sign that they're pushing Russian forces back.
Так будет с каждым, сука, Пидорасом, блядь. Ха, сука, черти ебаные, блядь. Петушки, блядь.
Ми беремо. Якщо нема,
No, these are not farmers.
кинули і йобнули в нього, щоб і ніхто інший.
Вторая армия мира, блядь.
Okay, continuing on to the latest. Ukrainian army liberated Alexandriivka, Fedorivka. We went over that. This is they were able to capture more villages to the east of Kharkiv. 4 hours ago, there's a continuing counteroffensive. So they regained the villages to the northeast of Kharkiv at the beginning of the week, and they're pushing further east. All the flags, the blips on them mean regained villages by Ukraine, or reacquired. All clear in Dnipro, all clear in Zaporizhia. 24 hours and not a single piece of evidence that the Admiral Makarov was hit. The U.S. claims to know nothing about it. I think it is time to put this one to bed for the time being. So this is the OSINT. He publishes on the OSINT account. Followed the person exactly. So this is Oliver Alexander. I will be happily proven wrong in the future if anything comes out. So the OSINT defender that the news was using, it's being more and more likely that claims about the being strict. So seems to be he's questioning his own reports. This is the author of this account here. So more to come. We got to be tracking that Admiral Makarov ship. What do you think will happen on the 9th? A parade. There might be an increase in strikes within Ukraine on civilian infrastructure. But beyond that, it's not like the Russian military suddenly now has the motivations to carry out a larger scale invasion of the country or do anything outside of what they've already been doing. But we're going to see a parade and gravitas speeches from Russia and Vladimir Putin. But beyond that, they just don't have the morale or the resources or anything to do anything beyond their tactics that they're carrying out now, which is a slow war of attrition, bombing of civilian infrastructure, slowly regaining villages. They're going to have a parade, or there were reports of a parade happening in Mariupol. We'll see if that's going to come true. There will be a parade in Moscow. There's a parade every year. Victory parade, they have it. There's a victory parade every single year in Russia to commemorate the victory in World War II. May 9th is Russian Victory Day. Here, I'll just type it in. Not victory of the Ukraine war. Why May 9 is a big day for Russia? Let's get on it. Why Russia's May 9 Victory Day and why is it so significant? Marked by grandiose speeches, a colossal parade, and a show of military might in the Red Square, Russia's Victory Day on May 9th, a holiday celebrating the Soviet Union's vanquishing of Nazi Germany, has taken a particular resonance this year with Russia and mirrored in a war with Ukraine. The holiday will take place as Russia's state television broadcasts bellicose messages about supposed Nazis in Ukraine, and as the Kremlin leads a stunning, grinding offensive that has cost thousands of Russian and Ukrainians their lives. Got to realize again that is the propaganda Russia's been using for their invasion. It's because that there's Nazis in the Ukrainian government, and they're blurring they're muddying history, especially history from World War II. I mean, Lavrov has already came out and said that Hitler had some Jewish origins in him, and so the most anti-Semitic people that's what he was insinuating, are Jewish. That's what he was insinuating. And dude, Israel just tore him a new one. Israel came out, and the Israeli diplomats came out and said right away, like, yo, what is this guy on? What's this guy talking about? They're totally trying to rewrite or muddy the waters of history, or muddy the truths that we know from history. So they're going to be propagating their special military operation over cleansing Ukraine of Nazis for their victory in World War II over the Nazis of World War II. So they're muddying everything. They're making history. They're just trying to rewrite history, essentially, trying to spin it to fit their current invasion of Ukraine. Here's to look at the significance the holiday has taken during Mr. Putin's 2 decades in power. In years past, Mr. Vladimir Putin has used May 9th, a near sacred holiday for Russians, to remember the 27 million Soviets who died in World War II, to mobilize the nation for the possibility of a new battle ahead. When he addressed the nation from his rostrum at Red Square on May 9th last year, he warned that Russia's enemies were deploying once again much of the ideology of the Nazis. Now, Russian state media is referring to Ukrainians who have resisted the Russian invasion as Nazis and portraying the fight as the unfinished business of World War II. It seems most certain that Mr. Putin will use his May 9th speech next week to invoke the heroism of Soviet soldiers in World War II to try to inspire Russians to make new sacrifices. The narratives Mr. Putin has been spinning to justify his war in Ukraine are very much in line with the grand nostalgic narratives of Victory Day. All right. So they're going to be using that to propagate their reasonings for invading Ukraine in 2022. Definitely going to be tuned in to that Victory Day parade just to see what's being said and what's going on. Continuing on, let's now go to Rob Lee's war coverage, or military clips of the day. All right, let's refresh now. Again, let's welcome our veteran community to the chat. If you've ever served in the military, in the Army, or in the Marines, Navy, Coast Guard, Space Force, if you've served in any branch in the United Air Force, if you've served in any branch in the United States, or if you've served in any branch around the world, go ahead and comment your branch, your MOS. Thank you to our awesome veteran community that tunes in on a daily basis. This is a video showing 2 destroyed Russian tanks in a BMP-2. We got an Army medic in the chat. U.S. Army, welcome. U.S. Army veteran, United States Marine Corps, 19 kilo. Russian Orlan 10 UAV footage reportedly of a Smerch multiple launch rocket strike with the cluster munitions on a Ukrainian S-300. But the U.S. Navy tuned in, active duty retired. Russian MLRS Smerch multiple launch rocket system strike with a cluster munitions. You can definitely see the cluster munitions. I'm wondering if that's what they're using. They're using those cluster munitions everywhere, because any piece of land or farmland that we see is just looks like Swiss cheese from how much artillery is just getting used. You see the cluster bombs all around the target. Alright, that's a Russian video. We continue on. Another photo of a destroyed Russian T-90M tank. We saw this video, Ukrainian TB2 footage. Snake Island.
Вони захопити хотіли нас зразу, і ми зачаїли на орків образу. З бандитів російських робить примар. Байрактар.
No, it's not.
Байрактар.
No, they're not using white phosphorus. Alright, not using white phosphorus. They're using thermobaric, which is, it looks similar, but it's not. It's up, I suppose. If you guys haven't seen it, we've covered thermobaric. Thermobaric weapon. A thermobaric weapon, also called an aerosol bomb, a vacuum bomb, or a fuel air explosive, is a type of explosive that uses oxygen from the surrounding air to generate a high temperature explosion. The fuel air explosive is one of the best known types of thermobaric weapons. So again, it's not white phosphorus, it's thermobaric. Video reportedly showing a RK-3 Korsar ATGM strikes on a Russian BMPs by the Ukrainian National Guard Omega unit near Velkya Komoshivka in the Kharkiv Oblast. Here's Kharkiv again. You guys were in the Kharkiv Oblast, in the eastern region of Ukraine. See the target being hit. Video showing RK Korsar ATGM strikes on Russian BMPs by the Ukrainian National Guard Omega unit. Video from Ukraine's 79th Air Assault Brigade reportedly showing a strike on Russian Ural trucks in the forest. Video of artillery strikes by Ukraine's 59th Motorized Brigade on Russian vehicles. Possibly artillery. What the hell? What happened to my... Oops, 1 second. Oh, my background went black. Hold on. That was weird. We're good. My bad about that. YouTube trying to mess with my video again. That's the one thing I forgot to tell you guys. YouTube removed one of the videos from early in the invasion. I haven't showed you guys that yet. Oops. I'll pull that up at the end of the stream. All right. I don't know if this one's going to be 3 hours long like the nighttime streams are. We'll see how long it goes. Just going to give you guys the latest updates today. But I do want to show you guys at the end of the stream, YouTube completely removing one of the streams early on in the invasion. Video reportedly from a cemetery in Ryazan with new graves. Ryazan is the home of the VDV's Ryazan Guards Higher Airborne Command School, as well as the 137th Airborne Rangers. Airborne Regiment. Video reportedly of a cemetery. Where is this? In Ryazan. I'm guessing this is going to be in Russia. Yep. Ryazan. Southeast of Moscow. So they're already, these are graves from soldiers lost from Russian military. All right, 137th Airborne Regiment. Continuing on. Video of a Russian TOS-1A thermobaric MLRS system in the Izium area. So I'm wondering if this is... Yep. Okay. I wish... okay, so let's do before and after. So this is what it looks like on the ground. This is that thermobaric truck that shoots these missiles out that you guys saw, the cluster bombs. The cluster bombs being used. Here it is on the ground. That's what the truck looks like that shoots them. Alright, and then here's where they landed. If your video resolution is bad, click the 3 dots in the top corner of the YouTube video, or click your settings wheel and change the quality to the highest possible. Sometimes it plays in the lowest quality for some reason. Manually change it if you're having problems. Should be in 1080p by 60. The remains of an old Ukrainian Tu-141 Strits UAV in the Kharkiv Oblast, which was reportedly packed with explosives. Old drone. Russian sources also posted photos of the remains of the switchblade loitering munition, which they said was used in the Kharkiv Oblast. Switchblade loitering munition. Aren't those switchblades that they just acquired? Yeah, Ukraine's switchblade drones will be game changers for urban combat. Russian soldier. Oh my goodness. Posted photos of the remains of one. Reportedly the first use of a switchblade loitering munition strike on Russian troops by Ukraine's 53rd Mechanized. So that was an example of it being used. You can definitely see the white band. Russian Vistral vehicle in Ukraine. Are there more of that? That's what the drone looks like. Russian Vistral vehicle in Ukraine. What is that? Is this one of their MRAPs? Russian Vistral vehicle. That's the Typhoon K. We've seen that. Here's an. Well, I guess we can watch this video. Russian armored vehicles 2022. So they do have some MRAPs. We've seen the Typhoon K out there. The Typhoon U. I haven't seen that one yet. Here's the Vistral. Looks like it can take on a lot of water. So that was the Vistral right there. I think it might go halfway underwater. Typhoon VDV, we've seen them use that. Russian forces using that Typhoon MRAP. That's the Cam AZ car. The music, dude. Oh, here it is. I don't know if the music's copyrighted or not. It has 2 turrets on the top. Definitely, that's what it looks like to me. It looks like a riot control vehicle more so than like a. It looks like a riot vehicle than it does more so like a vehicle you'd use in war. Pretty sure there's some sheriff departments that have that thing. All their videos that they're using it with is like riot control situations or like civilian control. There it is being used. What the hell nah. What the hold on, what tactic is this one, y'all? You got anybody in the chat done this in the armed military? What the what? You gotta be kidding me, dude. Oh my god. That's part of that's one of their, this is from their video. What the Is this one of their tactics? Oh my god. Whoa. Oh, that's a back injury waiting to happen. Oh my god, hell nah. The fuck, dude. Yeah, so it is a riot control vehicle. This is obviously their Russian their training videos that they put out about their equipment. Seats, they have 2 doors, 2 turrets on the top of this. That's in Ukraine. The Borscht roll. That's hilarious. I would not trust that maneuver. I don't even care. Listen, if we were running that type of maneuver, like exiting, hell nah, dude. That's got to be the clip of the day. That's got to be the clip of the day right there. Oh my god. All right, there was a large explosion in Kramatorsk. Let's dial back in. Dial back. Oh wow. Kramatorsk. That's where the railway station was hit like a month ago now at this point. Kramatorsk railway station. Large explosion.
Саня, здесь присядь, блядь. Сейчас волна пойдет. Скорее всего. Я ебало завалил, блядь.
Right, I mean the landing is the proper way to land, but like, what is? You're gonna jump out while the vehicle's moving? We can't even jump off of our truck. Like, you get yelled at if we jump off of our trucks.
Саня, здесь присядь, блядь.
I have back issues after jumping off of our vehicles after they're parked and not using the ladder to get down.
Я ебало завалил, блядь.
I can imagine having to do that maneuver on a regular basis. I destroyed Russian BMP-3 by Ukraine's 53rd Mechanized Brigade. Jumps out, immediately becomes non-combat effective due to a neck injury, back injury. Egress! Another crashed Russian Orlan 10 UAV. Do that out of a 5-ton, dude? What? Does it say A10 on it? Here's a shelling of the Azovstal, which continue daily. This is that Azovstal plant in Mariupol. In the army, they'd make you do that maneuver over and over again until you get the count right. Count off. 1, 2, 4. Fuck. Start over. Oh, man. So, in the Azovstal plant, there's still 200 civilians underneath. That plant was built in the Soviet Union to withstand, or excuse me, the Soviet Union built that plant to withstand a nuclear attack. So, although there's video of the plant getting hit like this, all the civilians and the military is underground. They're just hitting the infrastructure. Video reportedly showing strikes on a Ukrainian tank. Looks like a mix of indirect and direct fire. Oh, here's a big view. Look at there. Look at the holes in the country. Russian combat role training effective. Oh, someone's still in the tank operating it. One of the dudes bailed. Oh, there they go. About to say. Oh, he had to move the top to be able to get out of the turret. One dude bailed right away. Well, let's go back some. Watch that again. I was looking at, but apparently it's a Ukrainian tank in the Avdiivka area. Could be maybe a Ukrainian repurposed tank. Lots of that. He crawled right away from there into the trench that they have. Gotta be major concussion from that hit. He was hit right in the back, or that tank was hit right where he was laying down. Miraculously, he was able to get up and walk. The individual who got out first, like the gunner, he was laying down here, and then the tank gets hit, and then miraculously able to crawl right to the crawl to the trench. You can see him crawling there. Continuing on. What a clip that was. Video of Russian BM-21 Grad multiple launch rocket system and D-20 howitzers firing on Mariupol. Looks like a Russian video. Got the Russian watermark on it. Miraculous, he was able to get up from that back of the tank and even move. Yeah, a lot of their attacks are blind fire, indirect fires on areas. I mean, anytime you see a video of a UAV strike on Ukrainian targets from Russia, the whole area looks like this around it. Lots of indirect fire and just firing on civilian targets. Russian TOS-1A thermobaric multiple launch rocket system fire. In the 72 days we've been covering this, sure seems that way to me. They just fire. You can see the trench systems dug. So these are trenches. They look like gashes in the hillside. These are trench systems. Russian TOS-1A thermobaric MLRS fire. This is Russian artillery on Ukrainian trench system. It's like modern warfare and World War I combined with the trench warfare that they've been utilizing. You can see it's blurry. It's very blurry, but you can see some soldiers running. Can you guys see the objects in the video moving? Potato quality. But here's one of them here, and there's another one here. Trench is still the most highly effective against artillery barrages. Underground, deep underground, and trenches. Buildings aren't saving anyone. Russian UAV footage showing a strike on a Ukrainian position. Trenches, what do you guys think? Trenches still most effective means of protection against artillery barrages? No audio on that one. Rosgavierda troops. All right, we might be finishing up the last, or let's look at this report from the BBC from May 5th. Risking capture by Russia to evacuate the vulnerable from Ukrainian front line. This was sent to our Discord, so we're going to check out this report. We're going to check out Speak the Truth's update, and then the last 20 minutes of the Mariupol documentary, and then probably wrap up for the day. All right, here we go.
Well, the plight
like the video if you guys haven't. Hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and let's get to it.
Of those civilians in Mariupol has certainly caught the world's attention in the last few days, but also across the Donbas region in the east of this country. Many thousands of people are still trapped on the various front lines of this war. Now, rescue operations are underway. Often they are led by volunteers, people who are taking enormous personal risks to try and save others. As my colleague Andrew Harding now reports from there.
They sit in stunned silence on the school bus that just rescued them from hell. Still weary with terror. 2 other buses with them didn't make it back. It was so scary, is all she can manage to say. Thousands here are running the Russian gauntlet, trying to escape from the Kremlin's new offensive in eastern Ukraine. But imagine escaping this and then going back in again and again. That's what a group of remarkable volunteers are doing here in the Donbas. Including the man who filmed this, a British maths teacher, Guy Osborne, who came out last month to lend a hand.
We've been going quite close to the front and evacuating quite a lot of bedridden people, a couple of blind people, people with Zimmer frames, people who otherwise maybe won't be reached by perhaps bigger charities.
I mean, it's quite a risk you're taking.
I'm quite scared most of the time.
Who wouldn't be? This footage was filmed by the driver of another school bus, one of the 2 that went missing. Mikhail Pankov is a local history teacher. Last Friday, he left for a rescue mission and never came back. His daughter, Varvara, took to social media to beg for information, Please, bring my dad home, she said. And then, a surprise announcement on Russian television. Mikhail has been captured alive. The rules of war prevent us from showing him being interrogated by Russian forces, who accused him of being a spy for the Ukrainian army. Then another surprise. While we're speaking to his wife, Yulia, her phone rings. It's her husband, still held captive, but calling with important news. He spoke about a prisoner exchange, she says. My husband said the Russians might swap him for prisoners held by our government. Soon, I hope. So maybe everything will work out. Perhaps it will, but for others still trapped in the town of Popasna, no help at hand.
This is as close as we can get to the town right now. You can hear the boom of artillery in the distance and some shells landing just the other side of this field. We've been told that all rescue efforts have now been suspended because of the danger, but that still leaves something like 2,000 civilians trapped in this town, and we're told many more civilians caught in other frontline towns.
All evidence of a slow, grinding conflict with no end in sight. Andrew Harding, BBC News in eastern Ukraine.
Risking capture by Russia to evacuate the vulnerable. BBC report. Let's look up Rob from Speak the Truth, his latest update. Let's see here. Ukraine, has he updated a new one today? No, this is the latest one.
How are you?
Rob Turkle from Speak the Truth, and his friend is back on too with him. All right, here we go. Rob.
Inside of Russia that is
That's
doing
pretty hard
stuff.
to take out a bridge, man.
This image you guys are clearly seeing is proof that they were able to fix it. And they were able to fix it within 4 days of it being blown. That is the Russians. The Russians were actually able to fix this thing. I don't know if you were to take a guess, is it soft units or is it going to be a saboteur inside of Russia that is
That's
doing
pretty hard
stuff?
to take out a bridge, man.
I mean,
Like you got to have
real,
some. Yeah, no, you have to. Yeah, right. You have to have some sort of training in order to take out like an actual bridge.
So we're talking probably soft
effectively.
units.
Probably a soft unit that knows how to take out a bridge.
Well, there you go.
In my opinion, like you're not going to. I mean, unless you just pack a van full of explosives and park it underneath the thing.
No,
and
it
just
wasn't
pray for the
done
best.
like that.
Exactly.
It wasn't done like that.
Exactly.
It was done out like if you've seen it, you probably have seen the images. It was done pretty professionally.
Right.
So the Russian foreign minister has actually said that he's going to return, apparently Russia that is, return to Crimea to Russia, as well as the independence of DPR and the LPR, and they're going to establish them as territorial realities. And this is something that Kyiv and other countries need to recognize. I'm going to tell you right now that is not going to be a thing. That will not be a thing. This isn't Transnistria. Like they're not going to be able to just randomly do this. It's not going to be something that's going to happen. The entire world is not going to recognize these areas like Russia does. My other question is Russia going to stop there, or is it going to move east and secure these areas outside of the eastern side of the country? I mean, are they going to move past Ukraine? Like, because if there's...
All right, I'm going to fast forward a little bit till where he gets to the map breakdown. All right. Let's get to the map breakdown of the video. Again, this is Rob Turkla from Speak the Truth. We've been watching his videos and his breakdowns of military movement and the map since day one. He's a U.S. Army sniper, and his buddy's back, or he was a U.S. Army sniper. He'd be like the mainstream news when they have the big ex-generals or whatever on, but he's not that. He's a U.S. Army sniper, and he does give a decent insight and relevant information on the map changes. So we're going to start on that part.
Right. We called them insurgents during our conflict, but in reality, they're legitimate military targets when they do that kind of stuff. And so we're seeing civilians that have gone away from that. They've been murdered. They've been taken captive, like all sorts of crap.
Shoved in a camp.
Shoved in
Best
a camp.
way to put it. So on the eastern side of the country, we're going to look at real quick. I have a handy dandy map in front of me. So on the eastern side of the country, Ukraine has actually launched a massive counteroffensive. We spoke about this earlier. Ukrainian troops have actually switched to launching counteroffensives in Kharkiv and around the Izium area. So far as I can gather, right now, Stary Setiv is now controlled, as you guys can see right here, by Ukrainian forces, and there is an assaulting element that is moving north right now. It's moving just north around the town of Rubizine. Now, I can tell you guys right now, this is the second one, because there is another one, as you can see over here. They're named the exact same, but they are hundreds of miles apart. So this is the one we are talking about currently. So there's an image you guys are currently seeing on the top left or bottom left or whatever it is. It is a prior image, a satellite imagery of this bridge. You guys can see right here. I have it X'd off right there. Now this bridge has now been blown. Okay, I'm going to clear this up just a tad bit. So knowing this bridge is blown. This bridge down here in Stary Saltiv is not blown, and there is another bridge that's roughly about right here. Okay, so the Russians are doing a tactical exfil, I guess you would say tactical retreat, however you want to put it. They are moving back into an area that I think is going to be Vovchansk. Now, this area is one of the areas they need to maintain because it is the hub for this northern side to get their supplies down to Kupiansk. They need to maintain the main route that goes down into Kupiansk, which is right here, as you guys can see, this big yellow line that goes down. And I have actually put them on this map as decisive points they need to maintain and control. And it looks like the Ukrainian forces are actually moving towards there. Now, if you push left and go a little bit west, there's another element moving out of Ruski Tiski that's actually just south of Litsby now. Wow, I love saying the names of these places. I can't wait till the end of this conflict. Someone's going to make a montage of me trying to say the names of the towns. If you guys can tell, there's 3 major counteroffensives going on in the northern part of Kharkiv as of right now. All right here, pushing all the Russian forces back north. Every single one of these. Now, with that being said, you're going to have one of these BTGs are going to have to move out of the Izium area because right now there's roughly 22 of them who are down or that are down inside of this area right now. They're going to have to push men back up because they cannot lose control of the Kharkiv area. There's absolutely no way that could happen. Like, that cannot happen. Or they could move some of the men they have inside of Belgorod or inside of Belarus. There is Russians inside of Belarus, just north of Kyiv right now, and in Belgorod. I don't know. Am I looking at something?
They can commit more people, but I don't think it's going to do them any good.
But they need to control Kharkiv. They cannot lose. They absolutely have to control it. But right now, they're losing the battle inside of the northern part. There is 3 major assaulting elements pushing north out of Kharkiv right now, literally pushing the Russians back into their country, which I know we talked about BTG sizing, and it could be quite off. There was 7 BTGs worth of men in the northern side of Kharkiv, which I don't know if it's 2,100 or 7,000.
But they saw heavy fighting, and that's when we saw those troops that were getting shipped back into Belarus and going through all that. That's those guys right there. It's the same ones. And we had thought that Belarus was going to come down and actually back those guys up and actually take up arms with them and help them out. But
clearly it hasn't.
Clearly hasn't.
They haven't.
But if Russia wants to reinforce those people, now would be about that time.
And that's another thing I was going to talk about. So May 9th is the day that they're having their big victory parade. So if he declares war on Ukraine, he could bring up his reservists, and then they can fill the gaps in the northern part of Kharkiv with reservists. But my question is, even if they fill the gaps with reservists, they don't have enough logistical manpower and to actually fill these gaps.
That's my question: is how much stuff they actually have left over? Because we talked about you could talk.
If you're having video quality issues again, manually change your video quality to 1080p. It'll be 3 dots on your mobile device. Click your screen, top right corner. There's 3 dots vertically. Click on that, and then you click quality, and then that'll change your video quality to 1080p.
About how many millions and billions of dollars they've spent on cruise missiles and weaponry.
7 billion.
That's all their old stockpile stuff.
Yes,
they've had sat there stockpiling, and that stockpile is going to be dwindling rapidly. And so, whether or not they have the manpower, whether or not they have the equipment and the ability to move it, is actually the question. Right, to actually bring that fight to bear.
No, I know. I'm saying that. So, and the other thing is training these reservists. I mean, how trained are they going to be to men that have already been
better than the?
So his buddy's saying that they don't even have the morale or the will to fight, which is so huge. Having a reason, just being a soldier, right? You got to think of just in the mind of the Russian soldier. They don't have any. There's really no motivation or anything providing the Russian military with the will to continue fighting. There isn't. There is none. And they're seeing how their generals are getting killed. The top of the top leaders are getting killed. So just not counting their losses in battles alone, they just don't even have the morale right now to carry out any further large-scale operations in the country. That's why I think May 9th is just going to be a day of parades in Moscow. And where did we go? Or did I lose the video? And there might be a parade in Mariupol.
2-month conscripts that they threw up front the first time.
Yeah, the cannon fodder,
right?
Which is a real thing. We've actually researched that on this thing. Cannon fodder is a real thing that Russia has used, and they used it in World War II. And a lot of people also don't realize, that America gave Russia a ton of stuff in World War II between tanks, food, ammo, supplies.
Right.
They would have not. I can wholeheartedly say this. They would have not beaten the Germans and been able to defeat the Germans without United States support. Like 1,000,000%, which is somewhat ironic because now the same land lease is being used for Ukraine is the same one that was used for Russia.
Yeah. At the same time, Russia suffered mass amounts of casualties. This is they are very much so used to that.
It's so.
We also learned that Russia could have very as well have been on the Axis side of World War II. And they were on the Ally side because it was like the enemy of my enemy type thing. But Russia could have been very much on the Axis powers had Hitler not did what he did. They could have been easily on the same side as Germany.
Well, anyway, it's so weird though when you say it like that.
Crazy.
I'm gonna go ahead and clean up this map down here. All right, we're gonna move down towards Izium, which is just south of where we were. So just south of Izium, there's been extremely heavy fighting, as you guys probably are well aware. The 4th Guards Tank Division and the 106th Guards Airborne Division have actually been sent back north towards Izium. These are Russian-held territories, clearly. So those 2 divisions were down here. They've sustained such large casualties, they've actually had to refit and regroup back near Izium, which is, well, there's 22 BTGs worth of men through here, but they have not been able to make any type of major push, as you guys can tell, south. They haven't been able to. And by this time, I thought they would have at least pushed these men over like this and started taking control of this main area. Because if they're able to do that, they have the same Mariupol situation. They're going to have men cut off in the town of Lyman. As you guys can see right here, you have Lyman, and then you have another name that I can't say, of course, because it looks like a keyboard was smashed. But that area right there. But anyway, both these units have been north of Barenkov for the last couple of weeks. They've sustained such heavy losses, they've had to pull back and refit and regroup. We're going to push back just a little bit on the eastern side of this country. There hasn't been a lot of movement on the Severodonetsk area, like at all. And this entire eastern front has experienced nothing but heavy shelling. Not a lot of movements from either party, but the Ukrainian forces have held off the Russians from gaining any sort of ground.
But that's been like that for damn near 8 years now on that line. That's the eastern front in the Donbas. That hasn't moved in 8 years. This fighting along this eastern, I mean, they gained the Wagner group gained ground in Popasna, and then they gained ground in what's the name of the city? Tresky. But beyond that, this eastern front in the Donbas, look at it's been like that for 8 years, since 2014. That has not changed. Oops.
All right, we're going to move a little bit south. We were just up here in the northeastern side. Moving south, Mariupol, no major change when it comes to the Russians pushing through. I know they repelled the attack yesterday. The Russians are trying to push through and take that plant, which they said they weren't going to try. So we're going to move over to Kherson. Now, I wanted to show you guys this area, Oleksandrivka. It's one of the areas we're going to talk about. I confirm now the counteroffensive have actually taken it back. About 2 weeks ago, the Russians took this place back from the Ukrainians. It's been a back and forth battle. But right now, there's an assaulting element that is actually moving out of Oleksandrivka northeast heading towards Kherson. The exact location is unknown. I do have them annotated, though. They are moving towards Kherson from there, and there's also another element moving down. Now, they've been a little bit better about OPSEC this time, the Ukrainians, that is. For the most part, they've let their men take a lot of photos and videos and stuff like that. But I think they must be doing a lot of night ops, something like that. I don't know what's really going on in this area because no one really knows exactly where the Ukrainians are. For this entire time, they've been able to actually pinpoint them in their movements. But they're not allowing them to actually talk about the village they're liberating this time. And I know they've liberated about a handful in the last 24 hours on the way to Kherson. Now, looking at Kherson's map, it's one of the areas we talked about at the very beginning of this conflict. They weren't able to hold it off because the way the city sets up, it's not really good to hold off defensively. Now, Mykolaiv, I guess, set up a lot better for defensively held off areas. Kherson's more of swampish, I guess you would say. Mykolaiv is a damn fortress, to be honest with you. So, but the Russians have had what? They've had about a month and a half now to actually fortify Kherson completely, so I don't know how this is going to pan out. But hope you guys did enjoy this video over here.
And that's about the only city. Oh, Mariupol too, if you want to count Mariupol. I don't think they have reinforced Mariupol like they have Kherson. That'd be the biggest city that they've had reinforced, that they've gained since the start of the invasion. Would be the city of Kherson. So that was Rob from Speak the Truth, Rob Turkla. They do great work. He's been in our chat, commenting, talking to our viewers a few times, because YouTube does let these creators know when other people are streaming their content, so they come check it out. Johnny FD, you guys know Johnny. We've been watching his videos in Ukraine. He commented on last video we did, and he thanked us for reacting to his video in Kyiv. Let's look at the latest really quick. Let's look at the latest in Ukraine. Ukrainian BMP-21 Ergon multiple rocket launcher at work. Could be one of the MLRS systems that are hitting ships in the Black Sea.
О! Слава Україні! О! Слава Україні!
Bellingcat, both have good investigations. Oh, you guys are talking about Lancaster. Here is the second part of the footage. Where's the first part? And what is this of? Ukrainian forces dropping munitions with a drone, destroying a Russian T-72. Why are they... No. Honor about... Does this mean this video is from 2016? I don't know what the OBR from 2016 means. Again, to remind anybody in the chat, this war has been going since 2014. It's not like when the invasion started, that's when the war began. Unclear. I don't trust that video.
Покажу нападение, готовилась на Беларусь, превентивный удар нанесен ВСУ.
I don't know what that means. I think that might be it, y'all, for the afternoon. North of Kharkiv, what seems to be an abandoned captured Russian TOS-1A thermal barrack launcher captured T-72 tanks and destroyed a T-72 tank variant north of Kharkiv.
Неподалік Дергачів. Ось покинута кацапська роздовбана техніка. Один танк нормальний. Ще один нормальний, але башня отут у нього.
Це відео буде добре. Стаєм. Стаєм.
І ще один нормальний танк. Так, все, тікаємо звідси, тікаємо.
As Ukraine soldiers, you got the green armband on. All right, you guys, I think that's going to wrap up the afternoon coverage today on the Friday. Friday coverage, I usually have Fridays off, but I'm starting to think that Friday afternoons, I'm going to be covering we're going to continue covering the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial, but that will only be for another it won't be next week, but it'll be the following few weeks after that. So all next week in the afternoons, I'll likely do a war coverage. The next war coverage will be tomorrow night. I have tonight off, but I will be streaming on YouTube though. I have a gaming channel if you guys are interested. If you want to come and we can talk about the coverage, you can Q&A time, but head on over to Snack Squad Gaming on YouTube. All right, that's my gaming channel. We're going to be playing part 2 of our Metal Gear Solid 3 playthrough. I'm playing the entire franchise from the beginning of the storyline until the end. Here's a clip of it. We're playing the whole game. So subscribe to Snack Squad Gaming on YouTube if you guys are interested in gaming streams. Again, doing that tonight. The next war coverage stream will be tomorrow. I might do an afternoon stream on YouTube and then a nighttime stream again. I might do this, I might continue doing this afternoon time. All right. Thank you guys again for tuning in. Make sure you've liked the video, you subscribe to the channel. Thank you for choosing independent media. Thank you for choosing Mercado Media. I'm Andrew Mercado of Mercado Media. Have a wonderful afternoon and take care. See you guys later.